Hey guys, John here. In today's video we're going to compare my workhorse guitar speaker, the Celestion V30, to 4 other excellent speakers. So this is basically a shootout of my 5 favorite guitar speakers for high gain music, whether it's rock, metal, and of course also clean tones and everything in between. But if a speaker works well for high gain, it tends to work well for all of the shades of gain below it too, in my experience. All of the speakers that I'm going to do in this video are 12-inch 8-ohm speakers, and they're all going to be housed in my Grossmann Fatbox 1x12, which is my cabinet that I've been using for a couple years now for everything. I love that thing so much. It sounds great. All the speakers are going to be mic'd up with 3 mics, 2 SM57s and 1 MD421 Kompakt. For all the speakers, the mics are going to be in the exact same positions with the exact same levels and everything. I did level match all the speakers so that they have the same level basically. So everything is going to remain the same throughout the video in terms of how the speakers are mic'd up and the balance of the microphones, etc. Now for all the tones, I'm using my Vola, the Keene machine, with the Fishman Fluence modern pickup in the bridge. That is going into the mighty Zuta GBG 120 on channel 4, which is a great and aggressive metal high gain channel. I have the mod switch on. Yeah, this amplifier is so good, so I really wanted to use this one again for this video. That is going straight into the cabinet. I'm going to compare all the 4 other speakers, so the V30 alternatives, each time to the V30, so the V30 is going to be the baseline. It's my Chinese V30 from, I think, 2023. I love it so much. I think it sounds very balanced. It has a tight bottom end, nice and open top end, nice and 3D mids. And all the other speakers that I'm going to feature here are excellent in their own regard. Not too dissimilar from the V30. In fact, some of them sound quite similar. So they are all quite balanced sounding, but they're all different flavors. And these are all speakers that I recommend, you know, for your 1x12, 2x12, or 4x12. They're just all excellent speakers, basically. Now, before we get started, please drop a comment down below to let me know which speaker was your favorite. You can also hit the like and subscribe buttons, please, as that helps out the channel. If you want to support this channel, you can get IRs for all these speakers and many more on my website, sonicdrivestudio.com, as well as capture packs, etc. If you want to get one of these speakers or something else like a great amp, check out my affiliate links for Tolman and Sweetwater or Henry's Music for a killer guitar. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get started. And let's compare the V30 to the Hesu Demon, which is a really cool speaker that I like to grab whenever I need something that is a little bit more metal sounding. It's a quite brutal sounding speaker, and I love it a lot. I also use this IR. Whenever I do grab an IR in my modeler, for example, I tend to grab an IR of this speaker because it just sounds very pleasing and instantly metal, if you will. So let's go ahead and take a listen to a comparison of the V30 versus the Hesu Demon. I should also note that there are 2 isolated segments in the comparison demo. For that segment, I turned off the high-pass filter, okay, so that you can hear the low end in all its glory. It's going to sound a bit too thick for in a mix, so in the mix, I'm going to turn it back on at, I think, 76 hertz or so, just to remove that low-end rumble for the other instruments. Take a listen, check it out. All right, great. So the V30 sounds nice and upfront and clear, fits in the mix really well, very open. You can hear all the top end definition. As I said, the Demon sounds a bit more metal and guttural. It has a very nice growl. It's a bit more smooth up top. It rounds off on the top end a little bit there. It's a little bit more scooped. There's a little bit more low end going on. So yeah, again, it's just a speaker that's instantly good for metal. And I really love that speaker. It's excellent. So again, it's probably my second used favorite speaker other than the V30. But I do use the V30 most of the time just to keep a sort of baseline tone on the channel, and it just always works. But yeah, the Hesu Demon is wonderful. Now let's go ahead and compare the V30 to the Eminence Karnivore. You all know this speaker. It has been hyped up. This speaker is made in collaboration with Christian, of course, who you probably all know, and the folks from Eminence. And they wanted to create a speaker that was not too dissimilar from a V30, but had its own flavor going on, a little bit more bottom end perhaps. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out the V30 versus the Karnivore. All right, that sounded awesome. Quite massive and chunky sounding. Nice and thick low end. It does have that upper mid spike, but in a less aggressive and less, I don't want to say harsh, but in a less bright way. So it's a little bit more smooth, and there's a little bit more bottom end going on. So it's quite a massive sounding speaker, but it doesn't sound too far off from what we know from a V30, right? My 30 is on the brighter side. It's not harsh or thin, in my opinion, but this is a bit more smooth and a bit more thick sounding. So a great alternative to a V30. If your cab has V30s and it sounds just a little bit too shrill, you can try this speaker to get a little bit more heft out of it. So I like it a lot. All right, now let's try the Warehouse Invader HV. When I got this speaker from Warehouse, I think last year or so, it was still a prototype. I think they're released now. So it was a very new speaker. Mine doesn't even have a sticker on it. But yeah, this speaker is really cool as well. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Check it out. really nice. So that sounded great. It really had its own character. I feel like the mid-range had a different area than the V30. So the mid-range was shifted a bit. Very meaty and full mid-range, which is great for guitars since guitars are a mid-range instrument. So very balanced, really balanced. I really like this speaker a lot, and I perhaps should use it a bit more often actually. It also has a tight bottom end, so not too hefty like the two previous ones. So it kind of like the V30, the low end is nice and balanced and nice and tight. Still chunky, but again, a great and full and almost sort of flat-ish mid-range, which I really enjoy. I think it sounds great for guitars, especially in a mix. But yeah, it has that sort of cool guttural quality to it that is excellent. Now let's try the Amperian Explorer 65. Amperian wasn't really known to me until they sent me some speakers. Apparently it's a sister brand of Warehouse. And I really enjoy this speaker a lot. Anytime I hear it, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. It does sound quite close to the V30. So you'll hear that, you'll be like, hey, that's not too dissimilar. It's pretty close actually. So take a listen. Yeah, so again, quite similar to the V30, a little bit more smooth up top, a little bit more full, perhaps, not as focused on the upper mids and the highs, so quite balanced, a little bit more balanced than the V30. Does that mean that I prefer this over the V30? I don't know, because I really love that speaker, but this one sounds excellent and quite close to my V30. It's a little bit more refined, so if you like the sound in my video, and want something perhaps a little bit more smooth, then this is a great alternative. You know, they don't make the V30s in China anymore, and they all sound different. So, you know, if you like the sound in my videos and you want something quite similar, then the Amperian Explorer 65 is an excellent speaker to get. I think it sounds really, really good. A touch fuller than the V30, I guess. So that was this comparison video. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which of the speakers was your favorite and why? Also be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as that really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Check out my website for the IRs for all these speakers and more. I think I have like 34 speakers shot. So 34 IR packs. There's even a mega bundle. I also did a video months ago where I compared all my speakers. 35 different speakers, in fact. You can check that out on my channel as well, as that's a very good resource. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I hope to see you guys soon. Cheers.